Destroy all humankind. They can't be regenerated. What if I told you this was the name of not an edgy seinen manga, but instead of a romance manga that is heavily influenced by Magic the Gathering and the 90s? Yeah, hi, I'm Bayfund, and I want to let you know why you should be reading this manga and why I think it's one of the better romance mangas to come out in recent years. So, to start off, I think one of the big things to know about this manga is the setting. This takes place in late 90s Japan. Why is this so important? This is like in the bubble of the big scare of like Y2K, that whole time where things are weird and people are anxious about the year 2000. And something more pertinent to the story at this time is Magic the Gathering is gaining steam in communities all around the world. It's becoming one of the biggest card games just because it is being played by everyone. So it kind of sets the scene why everyone is playing this game. And so this story takes place in real life in our real timeline. And our two protagonists are in middle school. Our male MC is called Hajime Kanal. And he's this weird kid that always likes to play Magic in public, is just an otaku that spouts random stuff about media and things like that. He's pretty edgy, and I think most people around him also just consider him an all-around weird kid. Our female MC, her name is Sawatari Emi. Emi is this prestigious girl that's like #1 in all of her classes, and to the people around her, she's got like no perceivable flaws. This is a classic pairing in romance manga everywhere. Why? Well, because the male MC is always a self-insert, and they always want to idolize the female MC, so there you go. And the reason that these two characters are interacting isn't because of some cliche like they're childhood friends or something like that. No, it's actually because of the love of playing this game. Magic the Gathering is in the center of the story because it is essentially what connects everyone. Big emotional stakes and set pieces are set in the center of playing this game. Whether they're playing one-on-one with each other or they're playing in tournaments, we see this in like a Yu-Gi-Oh-esque kind of style where the cards come to life and they're actively fighting each other. But then again, it takes place in the real world, so it's not actually happening. What is really happening is just the characters' imaginations running wild. The stakes that are being put forward are more in characters weighing their decisions on whether they win or lose. You're not gonna see anyone get sent to the Shadow Realm. Well, I mean, I hope that doesn't happen in the future. I mean, they're fucking middle schoolers. I don't want to see that happen to them. And I think to address the big concern that I think almost all of you are gonna have is, do I have to know anything about Magic the Gathering? And my answer to that is hell no. Basically, when I came into this manga quite a while back, I absolutely knew nothing about Magic. I came in and then everything seemed like a foreign language to me. I don't know what the point systems are. I don't know what the characters are. I don't know what the specific types are either. But they do a fairly good job explaining what everything is and how to play the game. And to be fair, the big thing that you actually should keep track of when actually watching the battles is what's at stake for the characters at that current moment. I personally love the gimmick of Magic the Gathering in this because it is a fantastic way of getting people into these little cliques. Everyone's playing this game, everyone's talking about this game, everyone is completely immersed in this, and it forms this amazing friendship and group of characters that all share the same passion. There's this kind of bar that the characters are regulars in, where they go to have these meets to play Magic the Gathering. They teach each other different strategies, plans of attack, things like that. And there's this like sense of camaraderie there that's pretty nice to see. And aside from Magic the Gathering, what's more important in a romance manga than the actual romance itself? I think that the tension is actually really palpable between these characters. They are both sharing in this hobby that other people might find weird or don't know how to interpret it yet, because it's fairly new. And in this is where the connection like really starts to spark. You really feel this connection that's happening between these two characters that's going on, and you want to root for them. They really do become each other's sense of security. They feel safe around each other and they want to be around each other. So it's only natural that their feelings for each other will grow. But I would say yes, definitely. It still has its romance cliches. There's definitely a third party that does come in and like tries to disrupt the romance that's going on between the characters. But I think that still that element of the story is done really well as well. Because they're giving plenty of characterization on that aspect. And then our side characters also have their own play at romance as well. I won't say anything in specific because I really want you to read it. So yeah. And to take a step back for a bit and talk about the 90s setting, I think that's something that easily grabs me. I don't know, something about that time before the internet became mainstream and media became all up in your face, it just pretty good to see. Some of my favorite romance mangas take place in that time, so it might be a trend of something I like. But that sense really plays into that story because the card game and the Y2K scare These two things also bring about, like, you know, dialogue about the end of the world and being kind of poetic about that stuff, even though we know for certain it's not gonna happen. It's more like embracing the future and what's coming up next. The end of one age ushering another, looking towards the future. I think the sense of that, at least early on, is done really well. So far, this manga has 39 chapters. It's monthly, so that means once you catch up to it, yep, you're gonna have to wait for the next one and the next one and the next one, and that time really just racks up. But it's worth it, because the story is really high quality. I think this story still has plenty of years left to continue. It's definitely gone and hit like its climaxes and then gone back down and then gone back up. But I'm still really interested to see what ways the story can go and the resolution to some things that have been teased in the past. I think there are so many memorable moments in this manga. One of them that come to my mind is finding out what the name of this manga actually means. Like, what's it a reference to? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that's gonna make you at least Google search afterwards to make sure and go like, wow, that's actually real? Or maybe to understand the game a little bit better. So please, take a read of this manga. If the first few chapters don't automatically hook you in, well, shit, I don't know. I guess I'll refund you the amount of nothing that took you to read this. But anyway, this was Bayfond, and see y'all next time.